Good afternoon and welcome into sunny San Antonio. We're here on the campus of Trinity University, and we've got a doubleheader ahead of us today. It's going to be the SAA conference opener for the Trinity Tigers. New to the conference this year, they are taking on the defending regular season SAA champions in the Millsaps Majors. Welcome in. I'm Josh Mitchgamba. I'm filling in for a strained voice, Cole Isaacson. We hope to have him back tomorrow. And I'll take you through the starting lineup for Millsaps. Leading off at shortstop is going to be E.J. Owsley. He'll be followed by Karsten Williams over at first base. And in the opposite corner, Mason Morgan will bat third. In the designated hitter spot, batting cleanup will be Hudson Moberly. Wesley Grant out in left field will bat fifth. Wes Carr will be our second baseman, batting sixth. And it'll be Lane Cross in center, batting seventh. Thomas Temple over in right will bat eighth. And batting to conclude the order will be Christian Kurtzer in the 9 spot, and they will have to take on Jake Beck for the Tigers, and he'll get the conference opener start here on this Friday. We'll play 2 games tonight. See the numbers for Beck: 2-0, 4.66, and almost 20 innings of work. 15-6 strikeout to walk ratio, but that whip sitting at 1.6. People have gotten to him this year, and we'll see what he's got in store for us today. Tigers off of a big win on Tuesday, defeating the 11th ranked Texas Lutheran Bulldogs by a final score of 16-3. Millsaps defeating former SCAC rival for the Tigers, Centenary, by a score of 3-2 on St. Patrick's Day, and they've carried over some of that flair. Came in today with some green jersey warm-ups and some green hats, and I think we're going to see the green hats out on the field today as well, at least for game 1. And this will be Owsley batting. 377 on the season. First pitch swinging will be fouled straight back. Millsaps 7-9 on the season. Tigers flip that and go 9-7. Second pitch is also going to be fouled back. That's onto the roof. Oh, and I get to see what Cole Isaacson talks about with the bounces. Yeah, that one didn't have very many. Maybe 2. Broadcast atop the Bell Athletic Center here. Trinity baseball without a press box for the last 25 years. And for the foreseeable future. And that's 3 straight pitches and 3 straight foul balls. And the umpire's already calling for a few more to go into his bag. Three-man crew working today. That's why we've got the 5 o'clock start. Being flown in. Conference officials now. And flights being what they are, it's just tough to get people where you need to get them in a timely manner. The 0-2 pitch will miss and make it 1-2 for Owsley. Now Bake with a 2-2. And Beck's pitch is going to be lifted into left field. Going back at the wall. See you later. It's a leadoff home run for E.J. Owsley. And the Millsaps Majors will strike first here in game number 1. And we'll take another look at this 2-2 pitch. Yeah, I got it down but left it over the middle part of the plate. And that was a pretty clean shot right off the bat for Owsley. Williams will bat second. Karsten Williams hitting .286. The 0-1 fouled off. And the second pitch will be inside for ball number 2. I've got great news for everybody listening. Shepard Tyler is going to be joining us today. Just got out of class, talking with the professor. So he said he's running a few minutes late, but he will be here. That is great news for all of you. Do not have to listen to me ramble on and on and on. We'll get some actual insight from the Tiger pitcher, working his way through recovery and rehab. Check down at first, did not go around, so 2-1, and that one will be in for a strike, now 2-2. This is where Beck got hit last time, and that one is swung, hardly hit, or hard hit, but off, fouled off the right field side. We'll do it again. Two. Outside, runs the count full. Williams looking to be the second quote-unquote base runner here in his many at-bats. First one ran the bases so well, he just walked around all of them. Leadoff home run by Owsley. He's got the lead 1-0 here for the majors. As these two teams renew a rivalry that goes pretty far back. Far enough back that it was in its prime when most of these kids were not even born yet. And that will draw the walk inside. Make it runner on. Still nobody out for Beck. He's gotten ahead of hitters. He's thrown strikes. He's had pitches fouled off. Can't close it out just yet. So he'll be looking to see what he can do here against Mason Morgan. Batting in the 3 spot, the senior from Walker, Louisiana, 267 on the year. That pitch misses wild outside. Glancing back over at Williams at first. And that pitch is in there for a strike. The 1-1. In there for strike 2. Oh, once again, ahead in the count. Beck looking for first out of this contest. And with that throw over, I'd like to welcome in Shepard Tyler.
How you doing, Josh?
Doing well. And so we gave up a leadoff home run in this one on a 2-2 pitch.
Very quick start for Millsaps.
And ahead in the count, but has that one drift inside. That is the third base runner to reach safely. And not looking great here early on for Jake Beck. And that pretty much assures us that we're going to get that early meander out there from Dave Smith.
And it looks like they're not quite ready to make a move just yet. Maybe see some action in the bullpen over there a little bit. No one's throwing yet, so they might see if Jake can work out of this inning.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if by the start of the fourth batter, if you've got anybody relatively even close to loose to make that switch. So maybe a meeting out there to, if you are feeling like, hey, he's not got it today, see if I can get a little bit more time going, let him get through maybe one more batter, see if we can control the damage, and then if we have to, we should be warmed up a little bit more than we were.
And part of that is a lot of the staff for Trinity recovering from arm stuff or preventing arm stuff, or they're older guys, so they're trying not to hurt their arms. So a lot of them, it takes them a little bit longer to warm up. So as you can see in the bullpen over there, you might not be able to see at home, there's movement, but no one's throwing yet, and that's just because it takes them a while to get going before they start throwing.
A lot of stretching, and then some of it's psychological. You don't want to start stretching when your starter's going out there to throw the first pitch of the game. And,
right.
Lack of confidence. Big take there, or big cut there, and that'll make it 2-1 against our cleanup hitter, Hudson Moberly.
Especially a starter like Jake Beck, who's had such a good repertoire of really doing well in the past. You don't expect something like this from him.
Yeah, mentioned 15-6 strikeout to walk ratio coming in, but the whip sitting at 1.6. So it's one of those things where it's like he's getting touched up a little bit. ERA wasn't egregious; it was in the 4s, but just one of those things where he can be a pretty solid starter for the Tigers, but looks like that one's going to miss as well, and the count runs full. And the runner's going to go, and that's a great throw by Ridding. And so strike him out, throw him out, and I don't know if that was a designed run or maybe he thought he had to run because there were 2 out, but there were nobody out. So you can see that ball gets there well ahead of Williams.
That Beck is going to get into the dugout and give a big old hug to Ridding because that was a fantastic throw over the batter from his knees.
Yeah, that's the type of play you have to have when you are out there struggling. The old best friend of a pitcher, a double play, and you'll take it any way you can get it. That one's going to be ripped right back up the middle, out into center field, and that'll be Woodyard to corral and get it back in.
And if we look at the body of work that Beck has put together just in his first inning, of the 2 situations that you could have where he's struggling a little bit, this is the one that you prefer, where he's throwing strikes, he's just getting hit. You'd much rather have that than him come out there and struggle to hit spots and try and piece into the strike zone and then walking a bunch of guys. You don't want to have that. You'd rather have it like this because at least it gives your defense the ability to try and make a play.
That hit by Wesley Grant. I'll bring up Wes Carr. Hot shot over to third, and now some trouble, and I think everybody's going to be safe. And the infield gremlins strike again here at the Trinity baseball field. Grant Anderson unable to come up with that one, and we've seen trouble. It's a turf field. You would expect it to play a little bit better, but the Tigers over the past 10 days committing quite a few errors, more than usual, I would say, out there on defense.
And it looks like it's become somewhat of a snowball effect where the last game there were a couple errors. There have been a couple errors here and there that have been costly. And now anytime the ball's hit on the ground, you can see the infielders are a little bit hesitant because they are remembering their past errors. And they just need to let those go and forget about them and make the next play.
So with Carr aboard, this is Lane Cross. Batting .205 on the year. That one in for a strike to make it 2-1. We finally see actual throwing down in the bullpen. Might not need it, and we've seen throughout the time, especially this year, guy struggles in the first inning. That one's going to be hit over us. And 1, 2, 3, and yeah, we'll give it 4, but that's not much more than that. That's about the going rate here. The balls bounce up on this roof. Cole likes to keep track of that, but they die pretty quickly.
Very quickly.
And the called strike 3 on the outside corner will get us out of the jam, but it was a leadoff home run for E.J. Owsley. That's going to put Millsaps up atop. You got to look at the strikeout once more. Beautiful placement. And we'll head to the bottom of the first here with Trinity coming to the plate in just a bit. And welcome back. You see the Trinity lineup, fairly usual for Trinity fans. The lone exception, Caleb Woodward, now back into that starting lineup. We'll see him first. He'll be followed by John Ramsey, Will Baker, Grant Anderson, Sawyer Haynes, Callan Singhania, Nicholas Jones, Matthias Ridding, and Kalfane Coney, who in line, maybe, for D3 National Hitter of the Week after his job against Texas Lutheran. But we start here with Woodward. He's been out for a while. He returns back, batting .560 on the year. It'll dip a little bit after he grounds out to first.
But he is definitely a very welcome addition to the lineup. They've been missing him for sure. He's a fantastic leadoff hitter. He's been the leadoff hitter for 2 years now. Ton of experience.
And John Ramsey will come to plate. You get a look at Montour's stats. .467 on the ERA, just under 17, or just at 17 and a third innings pitched, and now it bumps up with that Woodward ground out. He's got 6 Ks. It's 2 walks on his season so far, and Ramsey at short again today, up to .406 on his average, and he's been sneaky good all year.
Yeah, he's been just fantastic at the plate. Love to see a guy break into this role of being a really just competitor at the plate. And they needed veteran leadership this year, and he has certainly stepped up for the Tigers.
Just a sophomore, but so many of these Tigers are just sophomores and juniors, not a very heavy senior-laden class. Out of today's starting lineup, just Nicholas Jones and Kalfane Coney set to graduate here in May. 2-2 on the count now to Ramsey after he looks at ball 2. Montour trying to work quickly. That one right back at us, catching the net. Now full count.
I have to say, I think that John Skyball might be my favorite nickname on the team. It's just very creative, and the story behind it is one of my favorites.
Trying to get a sky ball there and hooks it foul.
Remember, I was talking to one of the parents, and they thought that it came from we were making fun of him for hitting so many pop-ups, and he really doesn't hit that many pop-ups.
Yeah, so many of them are line drives, much like this one, and you can forget about it. That one onto the parking lot, out in left field, and we are tied at 1.
Talk about a sky ball.
Oh, man. This wind is blowing from right behind us. We are looking pretty much dead out at left field, and we've had 2 absolute missiles to left so far. Put us at a 1-1 game. Take another look at this one, see where the pitch location was. That one a little bit higher than the one that Owsley hit. Might account for the fact that it went about 30 feet further. Hit beyond the berm, caught the top of the tree, and it deadened it a little bit. That would have hit the parking lot on a fly for sure. And we're all square again at 1. Bring up Will Baker, hitting .345 on the year.
And I'm sure with this wind heading out to left field as intensely as it is, the heavily right-handed lineup of the Tigers is going to be very excited about that.
See if Will tries to maybe go opposite field here with some of his approach. So heading the count 2-1. At the current moment, the flags have been just swirly. They've gone straight out for a while, and that'll be pulled once again. So the 2 lefties pulling it to first, but that one just foul.
And that last swing just came from changing up with the timing from the pitcher there. It was a really good job changing up his approach and coming at him with a little slower of an off speed. But one thing that Baker's been really good about is he can go the entire field. A lot of lefties you see where they can only hit the ball pulling it. Not this guy. He can attack you from any point in the field.
Montour's hat flies off. Reminiscent of a former Tiger pitcher, now St. Louis Cardinal, Jack Martinez.
I wasn't here for Martinez, but I've heard the legends of the infamous hat that could not stay on the head.
Got him a tighter one eventually, and it still kept falling off. It would change if he got a haircut. He said it would stay on longer if he got a haircut, but he liked to keep the curls out. And that'll be a walk over to Will Baker. Bring up Grant Anderson in the cleanup spot. 323 on the season. These two half innings almost mirroring each other. Solo home runs, walks, and now a big. And that'll fall. We'll see if it gets a hit. I don't know. That was in the glove, so we'll wait for the official score. But that was on the track too, so we'll see what it's been given. It's either going to be a double or a two-base error, and there's two aboard here for Trinity. We'll take another look at it. On one hand, if you know anything about this field, and you can see the shadows there, you are looking straight back into the sun to try to make that catch. That is not an easy catch to make out in right field or center field at this moment.
Especially with the absolute hurricane of wind that he was facing on that ball flight. I mean, that ball had to be moving so much.
Yeah, started almost right at him, and you saw that he took a good 15, 20 steps over to his right. Two aboard now for Sawyer Haynes. Haynes batting .333 on the season. And he has been a pleasant surprise here for Trinity. Got a couple of hits in his first game, and it's just done enough that Coach Tim Scannell and the rest of the guys just have to keep putting him back in the lineup.
And he's been a pleasant surprise, both offensively and defensively. We've seen a couple really, really impressive plays in the infield for him. He's been a real bright spot for the Trinity infield that's faced their fair share of troubles with errors. He's been really impressive.
Takes a called strike, makes it 2-1. And that scoreboard for you on the lower part of the screen will update here in a minute. And it's going to change when it does, because that's going to be a 2 RBI single for Sawyer Haynes. Yeah, it's like we said. I mean, you know, it's not unbelievable hits, but he gets hits, and he drives that one back up the middle. That's what he's pretty much done all season. And that'll bring around 2, and the Tigers now lead 3-1.
What I was impressed by there was Grant Anderson's wheels. Did you see that? Looked like his hair was on fire. He came speeding down that third base line.
Third basemen are athletes, too.
On this team, they definitely are.
Kellen Singhano step up now. 205 average, but that OPS 573, and most of that is just getting on base. Finds a way to do it. Had been filling in at the top of the order for Caleb Woodward while he was out throughout most of this season now. Singhano's had some timely hits for Trinity and some timely at-bats where he's been patient at the plate and drawn walks. And a pretty solid defense out there as well. Finds himself out in right field today. Throw back over, and not much of a challenge on Haynes as it gets back easily.
One thing that Singhani has been so good about, especially as a leadoff guy, is he's really good at recognizing pitches and then relaying that information to hitters behind him. So we've seen it several times. He'll say something to the guy coming up after him after he gets a walk or he swings or something, and the next guy up will get a very timely hit. That's because he's really good at scouting and learning pitchers and learning their cadence and their timing and helping out the rest of the lineup.
Saw that, I believe it was the TOU game last Tuesday. He drew a big-time walk. And you can see him starting to celebrate and get excited, and then he immediately just came back over, and I believe it was Anderson after him, or may have been somebody else, but immediately came back over to him and went and told him what to expect and then took a walk down to first. It's kind of like having an on-field coach at this point.
And I know that's something that the Trinity coaching staff harps on and really enjoys having in their lineup. And I'm sure they're very excited to have Callan doing a good job of that in the lineup and informing the rest of the lineup about things that he's seeing.
Montour with a 3-1. Hit sharply over to third, up off the chest, and there's going to be a play at first, and Singhania is going to be safe. It'll look like another hot shot to third. Up off the chest, and then the throw over, and it's, I think Singhania got it by about a half step looking at it live, and maybe give him the full step on that one. So they have scored Grant Anderson's shot out into right field, a tough luck error on Thomas Temple. And based off of that, I would assume that Singhania's is also going to be an error on Mason Morgan, and it has been recorded as such. So 2 errors now here in the inning for Millsaps. Trinity had one themselves.
And that first one there in right field is so hard because the only way they get scored an error is if he reads it really well and he gets there and he gets under it. And then that's still a really difficult play to make, but it's going to go down as an error.
Almost. I mean, how do you come up with that one? That is one of the – it doesn't look that impressive, but if you're in that spot, if we had the view from him looking back trying to track that.
Oh, it's so taken for granted.
That would be an amazing catch. Nicholas Jones in the 7th spot here for Trinity, and he's looking to get going. Maybe a conference play will do him well. And he starts off with a big one. How about an RBI single for a guy hitting 189? He'll take that, and then he'll advance on a little muff out in center field. And the Tigers have something going now. 4-1, still 1 out and 2 in scoring position. 189 in non-conference play, and I think he likes conference play. And we've seen it all year. I mean, 189, but he's hit the ball sharply a lot. And he's hit it right at people.
Yeah, when he touches the ball, it comes off hard. But unfortunately, it's just been really bad luck for him recently, finding gloves.
Now, Matthias Ridding, 361 on the season, and having a year behind the dish as well.
And we talk about bright spots. He has been just phenomenal for the Tigers. You know, they talked about needing a guy to step up behind the plate, fill in that position of Lazera, and needing veteran guys to come up and be competitors and contribute at the plate. And he has certainly done that, both behind the plate and at it.
Yeah, and I saw the guy that he replaced at lunch today, Nick Lazera, in town, out over beyond the dugout and third base
Really?
area over there. You can see him. He's wearing the dark red shirt, just out beyond over there.
Wonderful.
Says he's been keeping in touch with how the team's been doing, and reminded him that we have a doubleheader tonight starting at 5 o'clock, and he was like, oh. He's like, I'll see how much I can stay a part of that one. That one's going to be roped up the middle, and that's off the glove of Owsley, and that'll bring around 2 more. Now, I should say, we do have run rules in effect for conference games, as this one is now 6-1 Trinity. As Ridding hits that one up the middle.
Might be a bit early to be calling out the run roll. We'd need 5 more runs.
I'm letting people know that are like, is this game going to go to 1 a.m.? Are these games going to go to 1 a.m.? Especially on the East Coast. Are they going to 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning? We'll find out.
That makes sense.
And it could go either way. I'm not saying that Millsaps is done here by any means. We've watched Trinity blow some big leads and get hammered here this season so far.
You're right about that.
And we've also seen them outscore TLU a week ago or on Tuesday night 16-3. So, this is typical D3 baseball. All I'm saying is if somebody has a 10-run lead after 6.5, 7 full innings, we'll see what happens. But
that is good to know.
But it doesn't mean we have to play 9 no matter what. And they did give Ridding, there we go, I made that mistake, the 2 RBI single into center. And they've also credited Jones with the double, so not a single and a error on the bobble in center, but they just went ahead and gave him the double. So trying to keep you abreast of the official scoring, those keeping track at home. Stats.statbroadcast.com or statbroadcast.com if you want to follow along.
And you mentioned the difficulty of these outfielders having to play these balls. If you look over at the right fielder, most of the game he's been holding up his glove blocking the sun. He's got that sun right in his eyes, so even with sunglasses, it's a tough job.
Joey Deering making the jam shot over look routine from the third base coach's spot. Calfani Coney, just casually down in the 9 spot, smacked 2 monster home runs against TLU. And Trinity's got him here, and he'll go down on strikes for his first plate appearance of this game, and it'll be back to the top of the order, and the man who made the first out of this inning, Caleb Woodward.
So the rumored return of Woodward is finally happening. We were hearing rumors that it was going to happen last game, but the coaches ended up last minute saying no.
Well, I don't know if they were fully expecting it for this week. The lineup card today had Woodland, and it had number 24 with it. So we were like, hey, that's Woodward, right? That playing in center? Woodland's not playing center, right? And they were like, oh, yeah, that's Woodward. But it has been a while since he's played, and he's going to get a single here in this inning. He's 1 for 2 on the day. And Ridding trying to go first to third is going to make it in there, and then a heads-up sneak after by Woodward, and he is into second. So we got 2 in scoring position once again, as Montour has just been unlucky at times and just unable to get swings and misses at others. Trinity carrying over some of the momentum from that TLU game after what I would assume we could safely call a disappointing start to the season here for Trinity.
Definitely. And to no one more than the players themselves. I mean, they expect a level of success that they're currently living up to in these last couple of at-bats, but recently have struggled both at the plate and in the field.
And I should say, a disappointing season, that's harsh. Because they have played the defending national champions.
For sure.
They have played a team that was at the College World Series and is still doing really well in Kane. They also played a really tough regional Babson team. They played a team in Tufts who has come out of the gate on fire so far this season. So it's not like the competition's been tiny at all.
And we have seen more success from the Tigers than we've seen failures. But
yep,
this team expects a level of success, and the coaches and the players, they all expect it from themselves, and the fans expect it.
Yeah, and given what I just set out, also a 2-game home and home with Texas Lutheran, who's ranked number 11 right now. All of that, and you're still 9-7. I mean, it's why the Tigers are still ranked, at 8-7 or 7-7 or whatever it was that they were going into the game. 8-7 with the rankings that came out this week, and they're number 16. Some people might look at it and be like, why is an 8-7 team still in the top 20? And it's because, well, they've played top 20 teams pretty much exclusively all season, and they've battled. I mean, a lot of teams in Division III won't play series. We do see that a lot more with teams from the South and from the West, where they'll play a 3-game series because of travel concerns and cost and everything else. You don't have 40 different teams within an hour drive of you that you can go play on a random Tuesday or Wednesday. So you've got to play a lot of games in a series, and I would argue that playing a team 3 times is way more difficult than trying to go out and play a team once, because the better team is probably going to win 1-game series as opposed to maybe dropping a game or 2 in a 3-game series. And that fly out by Ramsey will take us to the end of the first. Tigers, the 6-1 lead. And we'll be back for the second here in just a bit. And welcome back. Top of the second inning, and we have got a pinch hitter. Mendieta will step in for Thomas Temple, who was out and right. He was fighting that sun all half inning and had that one error, so we're not sure if anything's happened to him and out in the field, but Mendieta stepping in. Jake Beck looking to see if he can get through the second a lot cleaner than he did in the first. Now the 8-9-1 spots up.
And this is exactly where you want to be with an inning like last inning. Not a horrible inning. I mean, only one run scored. And your offense came out and gave you a ton of space to work with. Now he's facing the bottom of the lineup. So it's a perfect opportunity to sit down, relax, rest, recuperate, come back out, and have basically a second start to the game.
And he started off 1-2 again, and he was able to get ahead in the counts back in the first inning quite often, but this is the part where he was struggling a little bit. Couldn't get the chase pitches going, and he misses on that one, although that one looked pretty good. And Ridding unable to hold on to that one. I'm curious if he would have gotten the call had he been able to hold on to it.
It seems like it because he's been so good at framing. So where he was holding his glove, where he would have caught the ball, it looks like he would have gotten the call, but I think that's only due to his exceptional framing ability.
Came in on as a defensive replacement last year quite a bit, and the check swing, yes he did. Strikeout to start for Beck here in the second. Yeah, he'd come in as a defensive replacement, primarily for some of that late inning magic, trying to get some strikeouts. And you know, when you start bringing in your closers, the closer types, as we take a look at the check swing once again, handcuffed him right on the inside and even forced him to bring that lead hand off the bat. So fantastic pitch for Beck, although that would have been ball four if he missed it, if he didn't get the swing.
You mentioned Ridding sort of being a closing catcher position last year. No shade to his predecessor, but yeah, he was just so quick behind the plate. He could move so fast and block balls like no one had ever seen. It was really impressive.
So Christian Kurtzer stepping in, number 99. And the count now 1-2. It's going to have us a little delayed on his card there. We've got a nice little device that allows us to bring up everybody's bio information quickly on screen for you, but that goes 1 through 50 because most teams only do 1 through 50. And he'll go down swinging before we even get his card up. So a much better start here if you're a Trinity fan to the second inning than what you watched in the first. But this is the guy that sent one beyond the left field wall for Millsaps. So top of that order. And now if you're a Majors fan, you've got some optimism here with E.J. Owsley stepping up. That was his third home run of the season. And that accounts for all of his extra base hits. 24 hits, 21 singles, 3 home runs. No doubles, no triples.
Huh. So I guess when he hits it far, they go.
Yeah.
Or he just doesn't have many wheels.
You figure he's probably got something batting in that leadoff spot, but maybe they just like his ability to get hits.
Start off strong, maybe.
Yeah, he's hitting 387. So he gets on base. On base of 452, so also draws a few walks. And then slugging 984, so. Sure, if you gave those three numbers to a coach and said, hey, how would you like that for your leadoff spot? You'd be like, yeah, I'll take that.
1,000%.
It's not bad at all. We get that at the top of the order, we're moving. The 2-2, 2 down. Hit softly off the end of the bat. Over to Haynes, and he's got that one secured, and that will do it for the top of the second. So a 1-2-3 inning here from Jake Beck. And we've played 1.5. Tigers will come back up with a 6-1 lead here in San Antonio. Welcome back to campus of Trinity University. It's going to be Will Baker, the first baseman, stepping up. He walked in his first appearance back in the first. Still hitting .345 on the season, but that OPS trending upward ever so slightly. Montour still out there for the majors. You can tell the majors still in their festive celebrations. As first baseman's going to ground out to his counterpart, and Montour, without the green hat, scampers over and makes the play.
Do you think it's the wind or is it the hat size?
I'm going to go with the hat size coupled with, maybe the flow that he's got going on. Although I will say, I was trying to put these tints up earlier today, and the wind almost took my hat and blew it completely off the building. So it could be the wind. We'll give him credit. Grant Anderson will come in. 0 for 1 on the day. The tough luck should have been credited a hit, but was reached on an error. That one fell right behind us again. Yeah, they all go 4 hops. I don't know. Cole and our old friend Reed Rosales swear that it's 7 is the record. 7 hops up here on this roof, and the roof was new. They redid it at around the time that they said that happened, but this is a pretty spongy roof, but I think it gives way too much. Everything's 4 hops.
Well, Cole said he never even saw the 7.
Oh, so he just heard about it.
He just heard about it from his predecessor. But the legend lives on.
We'll have to see. If I get a 5 at some point, then I'm completely okay, I think it's doable.
That would have to come from one of those that just shoots straight up and barely goes foul.
So Anderson rolls it over to his counterpart. And he's going to be on base. We'll see if it's safely, and he does get the second. And he's on base. I think this time they give him a hit and an error. We'll see. Definitely an error to get him to second, but would he have been safe at first? Might have to check the replay, and here we go. Had the first baseman ground out to the first baseman, and the third baseman trying to do the same thing. No, I think a good throw. That's just a 2-bag error there. Had time to settle his feet and make the throw, and just unable to do so.
Anderson reaching on errors twice in a row now.
Yeah, both to Mason Morgan. Basically only hitting it to his counterpart. As the winds have started to pick back up here. And that one's going to be smoked through the left side. And they're going to send Anderson. We're going to say, nope, they pull him back. I was about to see if we were going to see exactly how good his wheels were. So he came around that corner, but that is the second hit of the day for Sawyer Haynes. He came up first pitch swinging, something we don't see a ton of here from Trinity hitters. But got that one through the left side. Pitch that was a little elevated, and he hits it down. Now we got runners at the corners.
But that's really impressive hitting from Sawyer, because it's also smart hitting. He recognized that the shortstop probably a little bit too close to the bag. Especially with a runner on, you have the oppo field guy covering, but you don't necessarily need both middle infielders right next to the bag. And he recognized that and said, okay, I'll just put it on the ground right where you're supposed to be.
And they're kind of in the same spot, but now intentionally there for the double play. See if they can force Singhania into it, or if he can find a way to get aboard. Singled to third base his last time up. Or excuse me, he's 0 for 1, but he hit it towards third base. That one hit right up the middle, and that will be a single, even with the double play positioning.
It was just on a rope up the middle.
And that is why Singhania is in there time after time. Makes contact, hits it hard, and moves the runners across. 7-1 for the Tigers now. Nicholas Jones. He's batting 1,000 here in the SAA. He can continue just to go with it. And that one is absolutely roped out into the gap. And that'll get down. A double for Nick Jones. He's got, I believe, 2 of them now. And that one got an RBI as well. 8-1 Trinity.
So he's still batting 1,000.
Still batting 1,000, 2 extra base hits. This is the Nick Jones we remember from last year.
Definitely. This is the Nick Jones that they've been trying to bring out, putting him in the lineup day after day, even though he's had a little bit of struggles at the plate, not necessarily with producing contact, but just finding a way to get on the base path. But this is definitely a welcome return for the Nick Jones that we remember.
Yeah, both times at the plate he's doubled with an RBI, so he's got 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. He came around and scored last time, so Ridding will be trying to get him around once again. He's 1 for 1 so far, singled into center. That one up and in will be ball 1. Tigers been pretty aggressive. I don't know that we've gotten into many deep counts. They've just been finding ways to get the bat on the ball early on, which has not been necessarily something that they've done all season.
And it's something that you like to see them do, because so many of the strikeouts from the past couple games have come from getting deep into the count, 1-2, 0-2, 2-2, and getting the pitcher's absolute best strikeout pitch, which objectively is going to be hard to face.
And there's Ridding with a base hit. And that'll score 1. And the wheels put on Jones as the strong throw from Wesley Grant comes in. Yeah, 2 for 2 for Ridding now. Just Tigers finding ways to continue to hit. Was hitting 378. That'll go up a little bit more. Now, I think this is Coach Jim Page coming out for Montour. We'll see if he's just having a conversation. Millsaps mentioned at the top of the broadcast on a 1-game win streak, beat Centenary 3-2, and it will be a change here. Beat Centenary 3-2, but a week before that, back on March the 10th, they hosted Mississippi University Women's College, and they got beat 30-9. Now, that is a team that has also beaten Endicott and some other good teams this year, but there is definitely some holes in this team's defense and pitching. Give up 30 runs, but we've also seen some really good teams give up 30 runs, including a 2022 College World Series Trinity team that gave up 32 runs in a regional game. So, that doesn't always tell the story.
Reminiscent of a couple weeks ago, game that happened.
Yeah. Sure. Fans of D3, and for a lot of the parents that haven't watched much more D3 than what your sons have played, but those that have watched a lot more D3 than just that, there are some absolute bonkers types of games out there. Score lines and everything else that are just, you look at them and you have to stare at them for like 15 to 20 seconds to be like, I see what it says. My brain cannot comprehend how baseball got to this point.
It looks like the score of a football game.
Hey, pretty back and forth, competitive, no defense football game.
Haven't quite gotten to that point just yet, but hopefully we'll see some more runs put together by the Tigers.
Andrew Bradley is the pitcher now for Millsaps, 1-1 on the season. He's got almost 11 innings of work, a couple of strikeouts, more strikeouts than walks, and he'll be coming in to try to do something with Cal Coney, and we'll be back here in just a bit. And welcome back as Bradley's finished warming up, and task at hand is Calfani Coney. See the 3 home runs and the OPS over 1,000. He did 2 of those against Texas Lutheran on Tuesday night, including one of the longest balls that I've seen hit here in this park in the last couple of decades. Got runners at first and third, 1 down. Those runners aboard, the responsibility of Montour. Bradley trying to do his teammate a solid here and get out of the inning, potentially with a double play ball.
That was called.
Did get the call. So 2-1 now. And a disengagement. We just felt that one coming to a disengagement. I was like, we might have a pitch clock violation here pretty soon, and then the step off. Bradley takes a deep look in, fires. This one chopped slowly over to third. Morgan runs in, can't get the play anywhere, but wisely doesn't try to come up and sail it. And that'll be an RBI infield single for Calfani Coney. So he can hit it hard, he can hit it long, and then he can also reach and get an RBI single on a dribbler.
A swinging bunt.
There you go. Would have had to have been an absolute rocket perfect throw to get Coney. And I'd say Morgan did a pretty good job of just eating that one. Now 10-1. Back to the top of the order for the 3rd time with Caleb Woodward. And he takes strike 1. They rock it back up the middle, and Woodward's going to have an RBI. And he'll move the runners 180 feet apiece. So he settles in for a single.
And Woody starting to like that little spot right there, hitting it right above the second base.
He's been pretty consistent in that spot. I mean, came into the game hitting .560 on the season. Now, he hasn't played the full year, but still ridiculous. And now, John Ramsey's got towering home run back in the first inning. The Tigers on the board for the first time today, and the rest of the team has just continued to roll with it. Up to .412 on the season. And that'll get by Kretzer, and runners will move up 90 feet and make it 12 to 1. Game 1 of this doubleheader.
So I believe now would be a good time to bring up again that we do in fact have a run rule in place.
Do have the run rule in place. Tigers defense still has to go out there and do a job. And
for 5 more innings.
5 more innings, and Millsaps can hit. So I think that for them to get this run rule, I think they're still going to have to put some more runs up. And it starts to get into that precarious point of you don't want to necessarily jump out and put up a huge spot and then still have to play game 2 right after, but you also don't want to stick around for an extra 2 innings if you don't have to. So it's just one of those situations. Will Baker officially 0 for 1 today. He's settling in. .339 currently on the year.
And it does put you in that weird spot of, philosophy for coaches. At what point do you stop stealing bags and hit and runs and stuff like that?
Yeah, 2 coaches that could not have more respect for each other and what their programs have done. They've both been there since the early 2000s. As this one's roped up the middle again and getting a glove on it, it's going to be Carr. He at least knocks it down. That probably saved a run. If that gets into center, I think Woodward scores easily.
And at the same time, at a certain point you stop stealing, but you don't want to let them hang around for too long because then, we've seen.
You'll get the job done, but you don't want to be,
So it's this weird touch and go where you don't want to go too hard, but you don't want to lessen up enough that they're able to come back and potentially swipe a victory.
So that one, a hit credited to Will Baker, his first of the day. He's now 1 for 2 officially. Grant Anderson's 0 for 2, but he's got 2 runs scored, so I think he'll take it.
0 for 2 on some very impressive at bats.
He's gone to his counterpart at third base twice. Reached once on an error. The other one, I believe, was a fielder's choice. So one thing about our stats system here, it gives us a little mini book, but it just says 5, and it doesn't say that he definitely didn't get a hit because he's 0 for 2, but it just says 5. So we know he hit it to third base. It just doesn't remind us what he did. Is it that one? So then the book's wrong.
Yeah, because I thought I remembered him being the...
Yeah, I think you're right. Like he was the one that hit it out to right field. So it says 5, but it's obviously not there. So we'll have to go back and look at the play-by-play, see what the error was. I know a lot of people might be seeing this across the board for those that look at Division III box scores. A stats program that had been in use since I was probably in middle school, which is well before probably when most of our audience at home was maybe in college or even before. that program has officially gone away this year. And everybody scrambling to try new programs for baseball input and everything else. And so it is, at the moment, a wild west of software out there to try to take the lead as to who's going to dominate the next few years for this input software. And there are a couple of leads in the clubhouse at the moment, but everybody really doing something different, but everybody realizing that, hey, I can't input this the exact same way that I used to, and when I do it, it tells me something completely different. So it could be something along those lines. But we've got bases loaded here, 2 down. And stepping up will be Sawyer Haynes after the walk to Grant Anderson. Haynes has singled both of the times he's been to the plate, now up to 391 on the year. He's got runners aboard. Takes a big hack, makes it 0-2.
We're seeing definitely a welcome change in weather from what we had. That was 2 games ago. We were freezing up here. Very nice weather with a calm little bit of breeze. Very welcome change.
And we'll be back here for the top of the 3rd in just a bit. Welcome back for the top of the 3rd inning, and after a shaky start, Jake Beck out there for the Tigers, and see 1 run on 2 hits allowed after a 1-2-3 second.
So definitely settled in here. We're going to see if he can do that again this inning.
First 2 missing for a ball, now 2-0. So we are also currently running a doubleheader softball game going on, so we're trying to make sure that we are set and ready for that action. And the 2-1 will run in there for a strike as well. The count will run full.
Difficult pitch there because you had Matias setting up out very outside, looking for a certain pitch, and if he's set up middle of the bag, he might get a call there, but
sets up perfectly. It hits the spot, but not in the zone, and that'll be a walk. And Mason Morgan will step to the plate, looking for his first hit. Bounced and off the chest of Ridding, but he stays in front of it.
And that's been just such a luxury of the Tigers over the past couple seasons, is having catchers that are really, really good at blocking balls. Not very many mistakes behind the plate at all.
This one launched into left field. Going back and looking up and seeing it leave the park will be Nick Jones, and Mason Morgan has put a 2-spot up on the board for the majors.
We are seeing that left field wind strike again. Gets in that jet stream and it just does not come down.
Elevated wall, but still just 310 to the foul pole out there, so kind of a short porch out and left, but you get a pitch like that, most of these guys are going to drive that out of the park. And a rocket shot for Morgan makes it 12-3. And as we said earlier, talking about potential run roll, maybe said Millsaps can score runs, and they add 2 more to the plate.
Seeing a bit more action in the bullpen, but no one actually getting hot yet. Just a couple arms throwing.
This will be number 13 here for Millsap, or number 18, excuse me. And it'll be Sam Thomas pinch hitting. Thank you to Cole down in the control room, along with Craig running our replays.
And Beck's going to have a difficult battle here because he doesn't want to give it too easy to them, because we've already seen what they can do with that. But he's also not been getting many called strikes on the opposite side of the plate. So he's kind of got a limited area to work with. We'll see if he can work through that.
The 1-2 doesn't get the chase. An opportunity to reset, though, after a home run. Just kind of reapproach the inning and start fresh.
That's definitely true, and you saw that with that really impressive breaking ball right there. He didn't get the swing and miss that he wanted, but it still had some really good action on it. And you're exactly right. With a home run like that, get a clean slate, and luckily your offense has backed you up really well.
And the Gremlin strikes again. Ramsey unable to get his glove underneath it. And Sam Thomas is aboard, presumably by error. Did a good job, just went down with it. Don't know if it would have been a called strike 3, but anytime you got 2 strikes, you got to give it a good swinging chance and able to make something out of it. Wesley Grant, 1 for 1. And three consecutive base runners here for Millsaps. They kind of did this in the first inning, but it got shut down. Now they're looking to make a little bit of noise and see if they can reclaim some of this game. And they'll continue on. Grant now 2 for 2. A walk, a home run, an error, and now a single. Millsap still moving along.
If you like offense, this is the game for you, because we are here in the 3rd inning, and we are already at 16 hits and 5 errors.
It's only taken us an hour and 11 minutes for the first 2 full innings plus
of this doubleheader.
It's started at 5 o'clock. Off the heel of the glove for Beck. He reaches over and fires. I think they got him, and they did. Jake Beck staying with it.
And if you are Beck, your heart is going to be beating for the next couple pitches very quickly from that very agile, surprisingly agile play from Jake Beck. It's impressive, but a play like that, I mean, your heart is beating, your mind is racing, you're just hoping to get the ball out of your hand as quickly as possible.
Now they're going to confirm, but you can tell there that it looked like, I wonder if the thing might be to check if Baker got into the base path. Because you see Westcott ducking out of the way, and they will make no change. They rarely do.
I thought the rule was if the first baseman is going for the ball.
I think so. I think they're both entitled to the position for the space. That's why it opens up to the side. That one's going to be a hot shot over to Anderson at third. He's going to fire over to first, and we are 2 down in the inning. And another run's going to come across. That's Sam Thomas. Makes it 12-4. And a heads-up play by Wesley Grant going from second to third. And we'll get another pinch hitter here. And I'm not surprised. I wonder if, mentioned before, 2 coaching staffs, similar, both from the same cut, I would say. And, when it's not working early for you, sometimes you just go to the bench. Just start making subs. It doesn't mean that those original Game 1 starters won't be back out there for Game 2. But sometimes you just got to shake it all up and see, hey, let's try this. That wasn't working. Let's see if this does. And it'll be...
You make a good point there, because with baseball it's really weird, because you'll have a team or a player or a pitcher or really any position that's by the numbers better, but there's no situation where a team comes out and they can just overpower another team. I mean, you could have a Division III team play a Division I team, and you really don't know how the cards are going to fall, because baseball is so unique like that. And to your point, you bring in backups or guys that necessarily wouldn't be playing that day, and they're not necessarily better or worse, but one of them has just had more success in the past. So maybe it's this guy's time to have some success in this game, see what can happen.
This will be Kyle Veal Jr., and he's got a single and a walk to his credit this year. So 2 plate appearances. He's been on both times. Yep, 2 outs. Runner at third. Maybe try to get something going. It is the 3rd man in the 8th spot here from Millsaps. 2nd time through the order, so that is a bit unusual. Lane started. And try to go over to my scorecard here. It was Mendieta batted for the first time last time, and Veal with the speed is going to be safe at first. No doubt on that one, and a run will come across, so it'll be an RBI. That should go down as a single. Hard hit ball over to Baker. Does a good job with the stab. Beck came off the mound like normal, but you're just not going to beat that speed. And he beats him by a step to the bag.
And it's hard, because you ask your pitcher to get over there to first, and they're not necessarily thinking about fielding a position while they're up there trying to get outs, throwing the ball, and pitchers are also not really known for their speed.
Well, if the jerseys are correct, this is Michael Griggs, listed as a pitcher, making the pinch hit here in the catcher spot. And just hearing from Cole that they've got a lot of 2-way guys.
Wow.
That was a play.
That was impressive.
That's why he's out there time and time again. John Ramsey.
Nonchalantly walking off like he didn't do anything.
A ball that was destined for an up the middle single hits off the leg of Beck. That'll officially be a 1-6 put out at second. And it just makes it look routine. We'll be back for the bottom of the 3rd here in just a bit. Welcome back. It is just the bottom of the third. Callan Singhania leading us off here for the Tigers. One for two with an RBI. Andrew Bradley still out there for Millsaps. Came in relief. Got a full inning of work. Then had the major score a 4-spot for him to try to cut into this lead. In danger of walking Singhania here on 4 pitches. But he gets the called strike.
I think that's got to be one of the easier pitches to throw as a 3-0 because you can just float it in there. 90% of the time, they're not going to swing at it. You're just trying to get back into the at-bat.
And if that's the easy one, then that 3-1 pitch becomes infinitely harder.
You have the easiest pitch to throw and then the worst pitch to throw.
And Singhania fouls that one off. Now he's kind of in the spot now. Its count runs to 3-2. And that one's going to hit him. So hit by pitch. Singhania down to first, and the Tigers have a leadoff man aboard. They will now go to the top of the order. Or excuse me, into the 7th spot.
I don't know. Do you think the 3-0 is easier or 0-2 is easier? Because 3-0, you still have at the back of your mind, you're worried about walking the guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the bases are empty, 3-0 I think is an easy pitch. You just got to settle yourself and groove one in there. If the bases are loaded, 3-0 is not necessarily an easy pitch.
No.
But 0-2 is tricky as well in some sense because nobody thinks you're throwing that for a strike.
No.
And if you do happen to throw it for a strike, it's probably a miss, which means there's a good chance that that's probably being driven somewhere. So I don't know.
And the baseball gods are cruel. If you happen to let an 0-2 pitch hit the strike zone, really in any capacity,
yeah,
a lot of times you end up seeing it fly over the fence.
Mr. SAA, Nick Jones, 2 for 2, 2 RBI, 2 doubles here in conference play. And that's all we're going to do. We're just going to talk about his conference play. It's a new day for Nick Jones. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's just something being different on the schedule. And he'll go down on strikes for this one.
Can say that he fully recovered from his leg injury, and that's what led to before he had struggles with the leg and hamstring, I believe it was. Now he's fully healed, and so this is the Nick Jones that we will be, the healthy Nick Jones that we will have from now on.
You saw that pitch by Bradley in the 1-2. Definitely kept it off the zone, but made it enticing enough to go after. And it was actually a really good swing from Jones. Kept his head in for the most part and had to kind of run around. Now there is a conference going on here by the Trinity coaching staff and up to Batman and guy at first, Singhania and Ridding. And Ridding. Interesting that it would be a conference with those players.
Yeah, I mean, are we going to try something tricky here? Because 12-hit day. Yeah. Are we gonna try and pull one over on him, or are we just gonna let Matias do what he's been doing all day?
Yeah, 2 for 2 on the day. Now batting .395 on the season. And that one could fall in, and it will, as it's a little small on the screen, but Veal just kind of looking at it, trying to see what he could do with it. But you're staring, right, even with sunglasses, you are staring straight into the sun.
Yeah, when the sun is setting like that, it is directly behind where that ball is. And
yeah.
You kind of have to guess where it's going to be based off of what you saw off the bat.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, with that setting, This Trinity field a little bit different than it has been in years past. They've got a much taller netting around here too. So now you've got the sun kind of refracting off of the vinyl and the netting. And that's going to be a double steal here for Trinity as catcher. They've got it 2 in the box score, but it looks like it is still, can't really tell what the vest covering up half of it, but it's a 20 something. Maybe a 27 behind the dish. And Coney skies this one. And into center, and calling everybody off will be Cross. And then he'll...
Really impressive throw to third.
Fantastic throw.
Surprising.
Best throw you could have made. I mean, I'm sure some coach out there be like, hey, you got to hit that cutoff man somewhere. But at the same time, the only thing you're doing is preventing Ridding from going to third. And you just threw it and hit third on the fly. So, job done.
It's not like he skied it either. I mean, that was pretty much on a line.
You're going to be a little negative about it. It was a little high up around the head. Maybe you want it more at the waist, but only if we're getting picky. Back to the top of the order. Caleb Woodward standing in. 1 for 2 on there, 2 for 3 on the day. Now up to 571. And my stats have stopped, so I don't know if it's a me problem or if it's a stats issue. Could be a me problem. We got very bad Wi-Fi up here, top of the roof.
Could be that the Wi-Fi just doesn't really know what to do with a 4th at-bat in the 3rd inning.
Yep. So now behind in the count, 0-2, as you can hear the wind picking up. Now the wind blowing straight out to center and maybe even towards right. That's why it's starting to catch in the microphones. We were sitting position trying to avoid the wind. Now I got to turn a little bit more. Bradley trying to get out of the inning. Just the 1 run allowed. Had Woodyard behind 0-2. Now it's caught up and counts even. And the 2-2. Rolled over but foul over towards first.
Seen a lot of those from our lefty hitters in the lineup. It makes you wonder how much this pitcher's changing up his speed and timing, getting him way out in front.
And then a defensive swing for Woodward, and that was still alive and active. It falls into play, and Mason Morgan gave it a go, but that wind swirling, it's going to be a tough play, and he nipped off his glove and lands for foul ball.
I'm sure he had the aspect of not knowing where the dugout was and the wind moving the ball. A lot of factors.
Not so sure Woodward thought he was safe on that one as he looks back, confirming that that was indeed a ball and the count is full. Now the payoff pitch. That'll be strike 3. Beautiful breaking ball coming in from Andrew Bradley, and that will take us to the 4th. Tigers plate 1 here in the 3rd. Back up to an 8-run lead when we return. Top of the 4th inning, and it is a pitching change here for the Tigers. So that will close the book on Jake Beck. And that'll be Andrew Mason coming in. Gone 2 2/3 innings so far this year, and he's looking to turn those walk to strikeouts ratio around. And an opportunity for him to come in a situation where maybe he can just get a couple of innings of work or an inning of work and feel like he's back on top of his game. Struggled a little bit in his outings here for the Tigers. This one's skied. We'll see if it stays in play. It looks like it will. What a catch.
Oh, my God.
What a catch.
Wow.
Matias Ritter. Oh. I don't know if the cameras will show just how good this was. Look at how much he's drifting, snow cones it, holds on to it. Like, I'm watching, that was right in front of us.
We thought that was going to come back and hit on top of our
Yeah, and it was like the side-to-side movement. It was not a pop-up up and down. That was moving.
On one leg, reaching out, snags it,
Oh.
then just very nonchalant tosses it back to Andrew.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That was E.J. Owsley who hit the leadoff home run in the game, and now we're to Karsten Williams in the 2 spot.
So Mason working really well here, actually.
Yeah, good pitch locations, 0-2. I was about to say, that's back-to-back defensive plays for the Tigers. That are just off the charts good. Ended the 3rd inning with that play up the middle by John Ramsey. And then that one by Matias Ritter.
So the Tigers redeeming themselves here a little bit for the infield troubles in the past couple of games.
And that play does remind me that play by Ramsey, that ball did hit off of Beck's leg. So hopefully Mason's in, mostly because they were like, hey, we got 3 good innings out of Beck. We're good to go. Let's move down our order here. We were planning on this anyway, but that one roped up the middle, and that'll be a single with 1 down for Karsten Williams.
And I'm not looking at the numbers here, but I can only imagine that Beck's pitch count was pretty high, and they wanted to not tear his arm off.
Fair point. We can actually peep that. Yeah, about 75 at that point. So might have had a little bit more in him, but also Tigers looking at 3 games this weekend, and all in the span of about 20 hours. So you don't necessarily want to have anybody overextend themselves, but you also don't want to burn through guys because you never know what the next 2 games are going to hold. Extremely grateful for that betting right there. Did an internship in the when the AHL was still here for the San Antonio Rampage, and part of my thing pregame was to be down at the gate where the players went out and just maintain some stuff there, and it was right behind the goal, and so guys would just be taking slap shots, and I got pretty good to not flinching with the puck coming right off the glass, but it's because you got a piece of acrylic there that you start to trust after a while. And I'm still getting used to the fact that we've got a legitimate net over here after a couple of years, as opposed to the old chain link fence that was, sometimes hit or miss.
Definitely very fortunate to have the protection that we do.
Mason Morgan 1 for 1 on the day. He's got a runner on, and that one is in there for a strike. So
a very confident
yeah,
pitch on the most difficult pitch that you can throw. It's 3-1, and he comes right at it with a really hard strike.
That one left low. That is ball 4. Morgan wasn't prepared for that one, and the umpire kind of rechecked his count and was like, yep, no, I had 3-2 as well, so you are free to go down.
Maybe he just really, really wanted a hit.
So 2 aboard for Sam Thomas, but before we get to them, it'll be Dave wearing out his shoes again.
Do you ever wish that baseball did the 4 balls, reset the count rule? Sometimes I wish Especially as a pitcher, it'd be nice. But as a hitter, too, a lot of hitters, they don't want to walk.
Yeah.
It's nice to get on base, but they want to swing. They try and put one over the fence or get on base with their bat. So, I don't know. Have you ever thought about that?
As somebody who never really walked much, part of it was that I was just way too swing happy. That thought's never really crossed my mind. And then the chances when I did actually walk, it was usually because I was very grateful to not be stuck in there against somebody who was legitimately way better than I was.
I guess you do need that bit of punishment for guys that are just piecing little pieces of the strike zone.
Yeah. Although I will say, at this spot in the order, Morgan being in the 3 spot, I think he definitely was like, no. Throw it again. Throw it again. I think I got this next one. Especially first time seeing a guy. Like,
right.
Okay. Let me see him one more time. I need one more pitch, and I think I'm on him.
Right.
So Sam Thomas, 0 for 1, reached on an error his first time up, and Mason again out 0-2. Tigers all day long, out comfortably ahead of the hitters. Millsaps has done a great job fighting back.
You just have to chalk that up to great coaching, good 2-strike approaches from all of these Millsaps players. Not swinging at anything in the dirt, not swinging at pitches that are meant to get you to swing and miss at them, and several times 1-2, 0-2, as we saw earlier in this inning, getting good hits on the least likely pitch count to get a solid hit.
And that one bouncing well in front of the plate. That one missing high. Tigers set up for a double play position. But Thomas has a little bit of room through the left side, a little bit of room through the right side. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout for Andrew Mason. His first of the day, second of the season. $88 on that strikeout pitch. Pretty solid from Mason. That one's roped to the gap, giving chase Singhania, and he makes the catch.
Wow.
That'll do it here in the top of the 4th. Fighting off the sun.
The Tiger defense came to play.
As we mentioned, those are not easy catches, even if they look routine to you at home. That sun having to be fought off. Great job for Singhania tracking it down. 3.5 done. 13-5. Trinity in the lead. We'll be back here from San Antonio in just a bit. Bottom of the fourth, John Ramsey, 1 for 3 on the day. Up to 3 home runs on the season. He did that back in the first. Got the Tigers' bats going. Tied the game at 1, and it's been all Trinity ever since. Second time through versus Andrew Bradley. He's flown out to center in his other 2 at-bats, so 1 for 3 on the day. And a big hack there makes it 0-2. Trinity softball in action today for a doubleheader as well. Got the win versus St. Olaf, 8-5 in Game 1. They're in the middle of Game 2 currently. You see it on the screen now, just beyond the other side of the Bell Center. So Ramsey takes that one outside for ball 1, 1-2. And they might be done completely by the time we get to Game 2. And a little bloop Texas leaguer for Ramsey. He'll take that, 2 for 4 on the day, and a leadoff man aboard for the Tigers.
And that's so frustrating on the mound because, I mean, you beat him, right? You got him inside.
Got the jam
handcuffed
shot.
him.
Yeah.
Pop up, but it's just right in that spot. Oh, just so frustrating for the guy on the mound.
Yeah. Had the shortstops playing more up the middle, so that's an extremely long run for Owsley to have to go out and make.
And looks like the middle infielders have been sort of up the middle for pretty much the whole game here.
Will Baker steps in, takes a strike for pitch 1. Trying to move his shortstop around. Smokes that one over to Wes Carr. They'll get 1 out and on for the double play. It's one killing here for Millsaps. We'll put the Tigers down with 2 down here now.
And the judgment of the placement of the middle infielders will subside. That was perfect spot to be.
We're like, we know what we're doing. It'll get there. Yeah, that's slow motion replay confirms what we saw live. Grant Anderson.
And the stat sheet is not going to show how good of a day he's had at the plate, but he has been a really nice competitor for Trinity today. Scoring runs and on the base path, using his wheels.
And there's the wheels. He beats that out. That'll be a single. Hey. 1 for 3 on the day now.
There we go. He gets a scored hit. So frustrating because those errors that he had swinging earlier, they're going to go down as errors, but those were well hit balls, both of them, that honestly he almost got to, except the pop up into the right field, but that was still a really well hit ball, and it's going to go down scored as an error, but he's had a great day at the plate.
It's a great opening pitch there from Bradley. Breaking ball reset the timing of Sawyer Haynes, 2 for 3 on the day. Check back over at first, and got to figure Wheel's going to get back safely.
That's a good idea there. He had a pretty big lead.
And he takes off. I think he's got this one. Safe under the tag. Really good jump for Mr. Anderson.
So both of the third basemen for Trinity proving that they can swipe a base. You have Lustina, who's the higher of the numbers of steals on the team, and Anderson doing it there.
Yeah, Mike Lustina leading the team in steals.
You ever seen that? Your third baseman leading the team in steals.
Hey, third basemen are athletes.
They are.
Got to play that hot corner, and go run off some steam afterwards. This one ripped at center field, but it's going to be right at the center fielder, and that will be the third out of the inning. So we have now played 4 complete. That 4th inning actually felt like it was a normal inning of baseball. Be back for the 5th, see what happens there. Top of the 5th inning here in San Antonio. Wes Carr, 0-for-2 on the day, steps in. First pitch, make it 1-for-3. Into the gap, out in left center. The leadoff man aboard for the Majors.
It's a quick at-bat there. Barely got his name out before he was on base.
That'll bring up Lane Cross, center fielder. Played that last Tiger effort perfectly. Fighting off the sun, getting the out. Now this one, and Ridding's going to let that go foul. No, they're going to say it was touched in play, and that'll be an infield single for Lane Cross.
Matthias Ridding saying he didn't touch it, and it looks like Coach Scannell's going to come out and make his case.
And so, going to double check with everybody else, but I don't know if anybody's going to be able to have a view from where they were that's going to overrule the guy that was standing right there looking at this. And I can't tell one way or the other. When I saw it live, I sort of thought I saw it die on its own off the bounce, and Ridding pulled his hand back. But at the same time, it's close enough to where it looks like maybe he touched. Yeah, even with 2 replays, I still can't.
To be completely honest, from our view, I thought he touched it. It looked to me like he grabbed it, and he just couldn't pick it up.
Yeah.
But he was adamant that he didn't. And Matthias is not the kind of player that's going to try and lie about something like that and say, oh, I didn't touch it. So if he says he didn't touch it, I believe him.
One of those that even with replay, I can't even come up with a definitive one way or the other. I think if you call it no touch, I'm like, okay, it's close, but sure. And if you say he touched it, I'm like, yeah, I can see it. So we'll go with it. 2 on now for Veal Jr. I believe our stats are just frozen from the SAD's office because I've got a score bug that still has us in the bottom of the 4th, and I've got nothing here on my Wi-Fi. We'll just keep you updated with what's happening. And that one's a shot through the left side. They're going to hold up the runners, so it'll be bases loaded. Veal on base once again. Legged out a single. His first at-bat. Now this one through the left side. He's still perfect on the year. 3 for 3 with a walk. 2 for 2 today. Now we'll see if Trinity's got any motion in the bullpen. Still holding to an 8-run lead, so it's not panic button time yet, but nobody out and everybody aboard. Braden Brewer steps in, another pinch hitter here for the Majors. They've found success going to the bench today.
Sort of reminiscent of what we see with the Tigers when they go to the bench. A lot of young players, or maybe players that wouldn't be necessarily in the starting lineup, come out and make their case. And a lot of times do really well, and we've seen that today from Millsaps doing the same thing.
Yeah, so many coaches will say it's not how you start a season, it's how you finish it. It's not how you start a roster or a lineup on a game. It's how you wind up in the 9th inning with it. That one fouled into the glove of Ridding. That'll be strike 2.
And one of Coach Scannell's favorite things to say at the beginning of the season, he says it every year, is I have never started a season with the same lineup that we finished it with in my entire career as a coach.
Yep. Yeah, even looking back at that team 10 years ago that took home the national title, it's pretty much a team coming back from being on the doorstep of a national title, fighting for the right to play in the championship series, falling a game short, and swing and a miss, strike 3. It'll be 1 down. Second strikeout of the game for Mason. So they pretty much had everybody coming back except for a couple of pitchers, a couple of guys here or there, but they knew pretty much where everybody was going to be, had some younger guys already filling in. And even that lineup got turned over in the midst of everything. So we'll see a pitching change here.
Looks like it's going to be Us from Baltimore.
And you like that. Let the guy go out on a high side here with that strikeout. And bring in somebody else, maybe get the double play, get him completely off the scoreboard and out of the inning. And we'll be back here in just a bit with Broussard when we return. Welcome back, and you see the filthy numbers from Jack Broussard on the season. 13 and a third innings pitched, 12-4 strikeouts to walks. He's looking for the out here and won't get it, going back into the hole, trying to make the play. Brewer will leg that one out for a single and an RBI.
That's an impressive stop for Skyball over there.
That was Owsley, excuse me. Yep.
He knocked it down. If he doesn't knock it down there, it's probably 2 runs scored instead of 1. And he almost makes the play over at first. He's having a day over there at short.
So the book's still not officially closed on Andrew Mason, as that run will be charged against him. But, yeah, as you mentioned, if he's able to get that out, kind of shift it, and the fly ball ends the inning. Now you're still back in double play position, trying to get Owsley, the leadoff man, out at second. Good block by Ridding. Now 3-0 count for Broussard. That one in for a strike. Easy pitch. 3-0. Bases loaded, right? This one white. 13-6 game. And it'll be more. 13-7, maybe 13-8. That one into right field. Singhania gets to it and knocks it down. But the runners will go first to third, and 2 will come home. It's a 2 RBI single for Karsten Williams. And told you not to go anywhere. Millsaps had bats. And they have brought them out. It's a 5-run game here in San Antonio. 5-run game 1. So Mason Morgan, third baseman, settles in. 1 for 1 on the day. Up to 290 for the season. It's a pivotal moment in the game here. 13-8. Got a chance with 1 swing to really reset this game. And then on the flip side of it, Broussard's got 1 pitch and he's out of this inning. The Tigers can reload on offense.
It's a really pivotal moment here because it doesn't have to necessarily be a home run or a extra base hit. Just something.
And sac fly might even do it. This one will be handled by Woodward, but the run's going to come across, and there are 2 down in the inning, and that's kind of where we were talking about that stop from John Ramsey. If he's able to make that play, it changes the complexity of this inning dramatically, because that would have ended the inning.
As difficult as an ask as that is, because that would have been Sports Center highlight if he could make it.
Now Broussard with the throw over.
But Millsaps have made it a game.
13-9.
4-run game. And 4 runs a little bit easier to come by today than other days. The bats have been on fire today for both teams.
Well, we've seen what happens if you just get it up into the jet stream going towards left field.
Yeah.
You know, you get the bases loaded again and just get it up there. You'll be looking at a tie game. I'm sure Trinity fans that have watched for the last couple of years, they've seen these games. Down 8, down 9 in certain games.
But, you know, you talk about the home run ball and the jet stream and everything, but I'm a huge proponent of the ground ball.
Yeah.
You know, Trinity has struggled over the past couple games with pop flies and strikeouts. And this game, I mean, several. I would argue that at least half of the hits have come from balls in the dirt, balls on the ground that have just squirted through the infield.
You can't erase a double-digit lead all at once. You just got to get runners on and advance them over. And Millsaps has done that twice now. 4 runs in the third. Currently 4 runs here in the 5th. They're only down 4. Thomas with the walk.
Looks like they'll go to a new arm.
And I wonder if this is to maybe preserve Broussard. Well, if they leave him in, maybe not. And say, would you look at a situation where if you're going to make the change?
Well, I thought they already made it. I thought he put his
hand up.
Might have been just calling time. Yeah, it looks like he just called time. Maybe give some more time to the guys warming up.
Because when you make a pitching change in game 1, you might still be able to bring a guy back if he's. You know, I'm thinking more in our traditional 3-game series where we play 1 game a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where you could bring a guy back for Sunday if he only threw a few innings or a few pitches here for Friday night. But
looks like
Tigers will be back out on the field. Besides game 2 here in presumably 2 to 3 hours, they'll be back out here as the clock strikes 7. Was that 12 plus 5? 17 hours will be the start time for game 3. Rest in peace, your ability to sleep. That one is ripped into left field. It'll fall safely, and they're going to send the runner. We might have a play at the plate. Anderson's relay tag is beautiful.
Oh, my. Wow.
They get Williams by a full step.
And the defensive play for the Tigers continues.
Nick Jones to Grant Anderson, 2 perfectly executed throws. And you had to have them both. Starts off 1 hop and then beats him by a full step. And a fantastic receiving ability there from ridding Tigers out of that jam. It's still a 4-run game. To the bottom of the 5th we go. We'll be back. beginning of the bottom of the fifth, and we're going to start off with a single here from Callan Singhania as he's ready to go before we are.
We get his name out.
Yeah.
He says, "Welcome to the hit party."
He's like, look, I'm getting on base. He should have been ready. That's 4 times that he's been on base now. And that's why he's in the lineup. He gets on base.
We were talking about that mental aspect of having him in the lineup earlier, and he's proving not to just be a strategic mind in the lineup, but does some damage.
Speaking of a guy that's doing damage, 2 for 3 today, Nick Jones. Singhania off and running. And he's in there safely with a stolen base. All right, that sun now creeping into our eyesight as it's now just under the tent shade. Oh, I don't know if I can look at the screen for the next few minutes, so we'll just have to watch what's in front of us. And watching that one and watching it go really far. Welcome back, Nick Jones.
Mr. SAA himself.
Oh. That's got to be something that just really makes him to struggle the way that he has in non-conference play. See the excitement.
And to know that his coaches never gave up on him. They kept him in the lineup game after game, knowing he was going to pop off eventually.
Yeah.
And boom, he does it there. And that, if you look at the replay there, that is not a pitch that typically goes over the fence. That's not a pitch that you swing at typically.
That's typically a pitch that gets popped up and the third baseman makes an easy play. And he just absolutely drove that one. 2-run shot. It's got him 4 RBI on the day, 3 for 4, 2 doubles, and a home run. And we will have a pitching change. I will say Andrew Bradley came in and pitched pretty well. Officially, he's going to go 4 earned runs against on 8 hits, 2 2/3 innings, 3 strikeouts and 2 walks, but came in and kind of shut the door in the second inning and got some stuff going for Millsaps. They will give them a shot to get back into this one. And we'll be back here with this change in just a bit. Welcome back here into the bottom of the fifth. Kyler Roberts, 2 2/3 innings pitched so far on the year. Solid whip and ERA. And he'll be going up against Matthias Ridding, who, well, he doesn't pitch, but he receives the pitches, and he hits the ball. And so, see if he can do that here. Count 0-1, and he does. Another base hit for Matthias Ridding.
And If you like offense,
welcome.
30 hits on the day for both teams.
Yeah. Matias has 4 of them. They're all singles. Just gets the job done. You got to get on. D3 baseball is all about getting on base and moving a guy over. It is a completely different form of baseball. And now an opportunity to continue being. We got to figure out whether or not Coney is a midweek all-star or if he's got his season going again.
Hopefully the latter.
One for 2, and he's got his season going again. Another home run, 3rd of the week for Calfani Coney. And the Tigers have matched the 4 spot that they gave up in the 5th with 4 here to start. First 4 hitters all coming across. 3rd home run of the last 4 days for Calfani Coney. Another pitch just right in the sweet spot of the zone. And he is seeing it lately. Mentioned he might have a chance to find himself in a position to be team of the week or maybe even hitter of the week. Now, there's a lot of action out there amongst 400 teams, but he's been doing some damage. Back to the top of the order. Caleb Woodward, welcome back. 2 for 4 today. They have missed his presence in this lineup. He'll roll that one over. He'll be retired. It's unusual when you go 2 for 5. You figure out, hey, I went 2 for 5 today. My average should be going up. Instead, it's going to drop his average pretty far down. He's batting .552 currently on the season. So that'll drop him from .560 where he started the day.
But, Josh, he's not just a hitting presence today. He's a bit of luck. We just had St. Patrick's Day, right?
Yeah.
The luck of the Irish and 19 hits. Bringing back Caleb Woodward.
Yeah.
Tis the season.
Tigers bettering their output from Tuesday night now. 17 runs scored, won 16-3 over TOU. Tate Johnson getting the start in that game, and he's turning into quite the midweek guy for Trinity. That's an important role here on the D3 schedule. Mentioned earlier, you play a lot of series, especially teams from the South and the West. You play a lot of weekend series, and that's how you conduct your schedule. Then every now and then you're going to play a close enough team. For us, it's usually a team from the SCAC or from the ASC. And we've got Concordia coming up later, but SCAC's Texas Lutheran. They're number 11 in the country. So you play one of those teams, and you try to pick some good ones so that it improves your MPI and everything else on your schedule. And you've got to go out and win those games, but you're not able to do it with your regular 1, 2, 3 guys because you got to save them for the weekend and the games that matter, like conference games and all that. And it's going to be a walk for John Ramsey. Still 2 for 4 on the day.
Definitely a luxury to have a guy like Johnson able to come out and do a really solid job.
That brings up the Baker's dozen, number 13, Will Baker.
I like that, Baker's dozen.
I'm wondering, did he pick his jersey or was he just assigned that one last year? Because, like that is a perfect number if your last name's Baker.
That is a absolute perfect number. I mean, they do get to suggest what number they want, but sometimes they don't get it. Have to imagine that Will Baker got to choose. He pretty much got not first, but pretty high up there decision for what number he wanted.
Found himself into the starting role last year as a first year. Now in that 3 spot for the Tigers.
I don't know. I've never been a huge number guy. Some people live and die by their number, and it's hard because some guys, their number is like 5.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. Really? You're going to expect to get 5 on every team you're on? Everyone wants 5. Come on. What was your number?
I had 2. That was towards my junior and senior year. And then I played basketball all throughout my high school career as well, and I changed it up every year. And mostly that was because everybody else on our team just changed it up, so we didn't really have anybody wear the same ones. And so most of it was tied to the fact that at that point we're all getting bigger, and the jerseys were all the numbers were assigned to the size of the jersey. And so as you changed, it was mostly because, like, oh, I outgrew that one, so I had to move on. And the fly out for Baker is going to leave us a 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And Grant Anderson, 1 for 3 on the day, but he had a single in his last time up. Not only did he have a single, showed off the wheel, stealing second. It's a good solid rip into center. And that will get down. So
Pops off the glove.
Yeah. Unfortunate carom there for Cross. And the runner's going to come around to score. And that is a tough leg. We just talked about it. I think we've beaten the dead horse now. You're just staring. I just turned my head. I've got sunglasses on and still squinted. It's just one of those things.
I also think that somehow Grant Anderson is putting a spell on the ball when he touches it. Because, that is the 3rd, 4th inning, or 4th error that has been caused by him hitting the ball.
If Cole were calling this game, he'd be like, just find a way to get on base. Hey, everybody. It's a little bit of payback. I got Cole. He had a strained voice this morning, so he's like, hey, I can be ready for Saturday. He's like, I don't know if I can do 2 today. So I was like, no problem, we'll switch. And so he's got experience down in the control room as well, so flip-flopped with him, and we've put him on in the last couple of games, and he gets that payback. I'd have known I would have gotten a haircut for the first time in 2 months, but
I know. I like the flow. The flow looks good.
It's getting there.
You're rocking it. Backwards cap. You look like a ball player. Is this a new addition, this camera right here?
Yeah, and mostly kind of doing the job that it's meant for. Actually, we put it up there because the tent that we have here, we've got a couple of weights and sandbags for everything so it doesn't fly away. We've got it strapped down to the roof. But it still likes to lift itself up and start to fly around. And so every now and then get feedback here for Cole on the talkback that says, hey, by the way, in between innings, you might want to come look at this tent. It's about to fly away again. And so it just gives us an opportunity to, one, maybe check out what's going on in the bullpens, although we can, with the roof situation we have here, we can never see the visitors' bullpen because it's tucked away. But, we could show people what's going on the home bullpen if needed. And then this gives us a chance, I can move it around from up in the control room, which is buried in the second floor of the Bell Center. And we can, I can check out to see, yep, it's time to go up there and maybe bring some extra weights. The wind's blowing a little too much. So Haynes will take the walk, 2 down. First base was open, so it doesn't really change a whole lot.
Well, I'm sure it's nice for the viewers at home to get to see a face behind the voice.
That's what I keep telling Cole. And we might even get to the point, maybe give him, we try not to rush. Well, I guess we do rush the intros, but maybe we'll get to a point where we're not catching the anthem with all of our games being free on YouTube. The downside of that is if YouTube's algorithms hear certain things in the background, they like to just end the stream, just cold. And so the stream is over and you don't get a warning about it or anything else. They just cut it. And oddly enough, one of the things is we got a steal attempt to third. That one's going to go into the outfield. Anderson, another stolen base. That's 2 stolen bases today. And then he'll advance on the error.
Again, using those wheels.
Woo. So Tigers continue to run it up. Now we're back in the game territory, 19-9.
Well, 2 more innings.
Yeah, just a in-between hop that I don't know if Mason would have been able to grab over there at third. But one of the things is that it's a hot shot to Morgan. Comes up firing, and beautiful play to get us out. Now there's nothing else to talk about in the game. But the national anthem is one thing that YouTube will just shut us down for if it's heard too much.
Is the national anthem copyrighted?
And so apparently, like the national anthem itself is in the public domain, but you can still record your rendition of the national anthem, and the one that we have here at Trinity and play is one that YouTube does not like and has basically hit us with copyright stuff before. So we just try to avoid the situation. We've looked at other ones, but you also don't want to just keep trying to run the risk of it. So
if you had someone sing the national anthem.
Right, if we had somebody come out and sing the national anthem. So, we'll see, we've had assistant coaches in the past come up and sing the national anthem.
Well, I keep having players try to convince me to sing the national anthem for the game. And back when I was still playing, they had several players try to convince me for a game, if I started a game, to sing the national anthem and then jog out to the mound. And to me, that sounded like a fate worse than death.
Yeah, what, I got to do everything here?
It's also the most layup chirp that you can have.
What, you want me to play all other 8 positions as well?
And give the other team an opportunity to call me every name under the sun while I am just taking it on the mound.
Yeah, you hit one bad note and all of a sudden. 19 runs on 19 hits, 2 errors for Trinity. And they've left 7 on. 9 runs, 11 hits, 5 errors, 8 left on for Millsaps. And
looks like they're giving Anderson a break over at third.
Good. The mass subs. Let's see. Usually get a text message from Quinn down in our equipment manager.
Well, it looks like pretty much everything has stayed the same except for third.
Just third base, yeah. Well, I mean, he did run 180 feet at full sprint.
And he's been running wild all day. So definitely a well-earned break.
So the text I got in, just 29 to third base. So got to look at the roster here. And that is Caden Williams.
Welcome to the game, Caden Williams.
Yeah, back-to-back games for Caden. Got into the midweek game on Tuesday.
Never understood what that signal means. The umpire looks at the pitcher and points at his eyes.
So that's the new engagement rule. He's telling the pitcher that he has to engage with the hitter, and then they can start the actual clock. And if you don't engage by a certain point, then he comes out and says you need to engage with them. I think you get a couple of warnings on that throughout the game, and then they penalize you as a time violation.
Huh.
I could be wrong on the warnings and the violation part, but that's what I've seen to this extent. I've never actually seen anybody get the violation part, but I've seen the warnings go on for about 2 or 3 times, and then most of the time they never do it again. So that one flown out into left. Nick Jones covering. Veal Jr. stepping up now. Once again, the stats on the screen and on my computer here are frozen in the top of the 6th with 1 out. I think that's right now. So just a little bit behind. And my goodness, what a sub. 1 for 1 with a walk coming into this game on the year. Now 3 for 3 in this game. All singles. Kyle Veal Jr.
Makes you wonder, why wasn't he in the game to start?
Yeah. I think Game 2 and Game 3 lineup might feature him.
Just might.
Braden Brewer struck out in his last appearance. Was the final batter faced by Andrew Mason. He's going to fly out to Callan Singhania for the 2nd out here.
And luckily for Singhania, it seems that the sun has finally subsided a little bit.
Yeah, you can see that shadow line. So Woodward still has a little bit to work with there, but it should be good enough now because the ball coming off the bat should at least be not in a bad spot for him. He's still in sun, but it shouldn't be looking into it. Callan is forever grateful that it is now behind the building And a rocket shot over to John Ramsey. He'll make the catch. That'll take us to the bottom of the 6th when we return. Bottom of the 6th. Still Kyler Roberts out there for Millsaps. Came in the last inning. He's back out there again facing Nick Jones. Jones went yard in his last appearance. He's got 2 doubles in addition to that. And just misses this one as that'll be flied out to right. And Veal's got to play on it. First time he's flown out today. 19-9. We've talked about it briefly in between innings. Maybe we talked about it too early at one point as Matthias Ridding gets up. But if Tigers can throw another scoreless frame out there, they're going to be in good shape to end this game early. And that helps everybody here because these games are scheduled for 5 and 8. And if we end here in the next 5 minutes, that next game does start at 8. Anything beyond that is extra. And if we play all 9 of these, I think we're here for another hour 15. So trying to get these games in before Cinderella has to go home.
You mentioned they drove up here in a bus.
Yeah.
You think the bus is going to turn back and do a pumpkin at midnight?
I think so. Totally. That's not good. We got scoreboard issues again.
It's been flashing on and off, but
it's back.
It's pretty come back pretty quick.
Maybe the scoreboard's the pumpkin.
Maybe.
That's the deal.
Looks like Blue behind the plate got hit pretty good here. Just giving him a second to recover. Tell you, that's got to be one of the most brave sort of referee umpiring jobs in all of sports is the behind the plate ump, because you're wearing some padding, but you don't have a glove or anything, and you're just hoping and praying that that catcher likes you enough to protect you.
Cole chimed in on my ear and said hockey, and I'm like, yeah, like same thing but on skates. Fair enough. Although I do love what baseball does. So when the guy gets hit, catcher usually is alert enough to it. And they'll go out there and have a conversation with the pitcher. 5 for 5 is Matthias Ridding. And the catcher for the Tigers going out there and getting a bunch of singles today.
And we mentioned at the beginning of the season, last year I think he was talking to me about one of the hardest things that he faced with his swing was he had a very upward power-based motion because he was used to sort of being a power guy. And he spoke with the coaches this year, and they told him, we don't necessarily need power from you. We don't need you to try and put balls over the fence. And we need a solid offensive contributor. And he has certainly been that, especially today. All of his hits being singles, just coming one after the other. He's unstoppable right now.
Jalfani Coney, 2 for 3 on the day. Tigers 7, 8, 9 hitters, 10 for 13. Nick Jones 3 for 5. Matias 5 for 5, and Cal 2 for 3. They've got 2 home runs as well. 2 doubles. 6 singles. And now a runner in scoring position for Coney. I don't have the RBIs. I'd have to look at a different page. I'm afraid to take it off the front page of the stats. I'll get very confused. But yeah, Matias going out there and just collecting singles. Nothing wrong with that. A little Jack Wilson, a little Luis Ariz. But I was saying earlier, when the umpire gets hit, catchers do a really good job. Like, oh, maybe I'll go out and talk to my pitcher for a second. And Dave comes out with some water. Everybody just kind of plays it off like it's like, hey, we're just taking a quick break here.
Quick break.
Give you a second to regroup. Coney will fly out into the last remaining bit of sunlight left on the field.
He was trying to have that sun work to his advantage just a little bit before I went fully down. And
he's been a superstar since we hit daylight savings time. So 2 down. Back to the top of the order. Caleb Woodward, 2 for 5 on the day.
You mentioned when the ump gets hit, it's really nice that the whole team, both teams collectively, the trainer comes out and just pretend nothing's going on, just taking a quick break. Whereas, as Cole mentioned, hockey, you got to jump in there between these two humongous men that are just trying to kill each other and force them apart and hope that they don't turn that anger on you. I'm not envious of that job.
And you got to be able to do that all on skates.
On skates, too. I don't know how.
No, just it's a different breed. Woodward due for a hit here. He's 2 for 5 on the day. Well below his average. That one cranking down the line, but it'll land foul.
Almost had his 3rd hit of the day there. Somewhat close.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too much spin on it.
He's batting .400 in this game. That's lowered his average 27 points on the season.
Which is absurd to say. Batting .400, and it lowered his average.
That one will get through. 3 for 6 on the day. And an RBI.
And some smart base running to back it up as well. With the run scoring, Caleb Woodward sneaking over to second to get an extra base. Getting in scoring position.
Our old friend Reed Rosales texting in saying, hadn't had a 5 for 5 game in 10 years. And it's happened twice this season. What a job by Matias today.
That puts Trinity in the 21 hits.
34 on the day combined, 29 combined runs. John Ramsey, he got the 2nd run of the game. I believe he got the 2nd hit of the game, too. Maybe the 3rd. That home run. All the way back in the 1st inning.
And that was a strong start to the game.
Smoked over to Mason. And Mason Morgan not able to come up with the play, but I don't know that don't know if Woodward's motion over from second to third maybe had him hesitate, or if he had realized that maybe he didn't have a play on Ramsey at first. As he comes up to retrieve it, look like, yeah, he didn't have a play at first, so kind of ate it. Millsaps actually been doing a pretty good job of that. I've seen so many teams come in this year and try to make that play even after the mishap. And then that leads to the ball going into, the dugout or off the fence and allowing more runners to advance.
And I think it's just they're well coached enough to understand that, making an insanely stellar play right now at this point in the game, it'd be great, but it's not going to save the game for you, Getting one extra out at first,
yeah.
It's not a tie game. It's not a one-run game. So why, sell out and potentially give up even more runs and make the job even harder?
Yeah. They do give Ramsey the hit, now 3 for 5 on the day, 22 hits for Trinity. Will Baker 1 for 4. That one is right in front. And Brewer will heed the advice of the crowd and his dugout and calmly just look right in front of himself, find the ball.
He's done a pretty good job today. Had a couple squeak by, but for the most part, blocked a lot of balls and done really solid stopping them. On both sides, really.
Not able to get that one. 3-1 now. The first time we've really gone deep into a count in quite a few hitters. This one is absolutely hammered to right. Bangs off the wall about 3/4 of the way up. Woodward and Ramsey come around easily on the RBI, 2 RBI double by Will Baker. Might need to go check the pad and see if there's a dent in there.
That was on a line.
Had 2 more runs for the Tigers. They've almost equaled their hits total. One shy. 22 runs on 23 hits.
Very efficient with the hits. And you look at the body of work for both teams, the runs that have been put up, and the amount of hits. The strange thing is the pitching hasn't been bad. They haven't been really leaving crazy hittable pitches up in the zone, and they certainly haven't been walking guys. And it's not like they've been smashing balls over the fence. I mean, there have been several home runs, but that's not where a majority of both of these teams' runs have come from. They've come from singles, grounders squeaking through the infield, and just an impressive showing of being able to place the ball in a spot to get a hit for both teams, really.
See, the new third baseman for the Tigers. He's been out there on defense, but his first at-bat, Caden Williams, 0 for 1 on the season. Dances out of the way of that one and has a 2-1 count. We're almost to sunset here at Trinity, and really doesn't get much better than sunset here on campus, especially when we're up here high, see kind of everything around us. Got a good view of downtown behind us, and
nice breeze blowing in from downtown. Doesn't get much better.
Now the 2-2. Roberts trying to get out of the inning. Instead, it's going to be the first hit of the year for Caden Williams, and he'll take an RBI with it.
And we see it again. The ground ball proves to be a weapon of mass destruction for the Tigers.
Just finds the open area, gets on base. It looks like we'll have I think it's just a meeting. I know that I can hear the glove popping over there, so I know that there's action in the bullpen. Yeah, we've got a reliever coming in. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here, bottom of the 6th, in just a bit. Still here in the bottom of the 6th. Weston Myers in relief. Let's see if the senior can get that out. That Millsaps needs to take us to the 7th. And he'll be checking in against Sawyer Haynes. 2 for 4 on the day. He's got Caden Williams over there at first base after his first hit of the season.
Sort of uncharacteristic for Trinity. You'd think we'd see more subs coming into the game, but the lineup seems to remain unchanged except for Williams.
Yeah, I wonder if that's part of, we've got a game right after this, so do you want to just keep the flow going? It's kind of hard because you want to give a break if you can, but you also don't want to get people out of their zone.
Right.
So it's you know, I think this is why coaches don't like playing doubleheaders, because these are decisions that you don't want to have to make. But the 1-2 count. And we'll see. Like, maybe they start some guys. Swing and a miss. And a strikeout for Myers. And that'll take us to the 7th. And Trinity can breathe a little bit easier. They've got a little bit of wiggle room. And we'll see what comes of the top of the 7th. See if Trinity can end this one, I would say early. I mean, we are 2 hours and 41 minutes into this one, so just see if we can end it at a normal time to start game 2, and then go from there. It looks like we will have a new arm out there for Trinity. That's still Broussard. It'll be same arm out there for Trinity when we come back. Jack Broussard out there for Trinity and a pinch hitter here for Millsaps. So mentioned the Tigers pretty much rolling out the same lineup out there. Jones, Woodward, Singhania left to right. Now Williams at third, but Ramsey, Haynes, and Baker around the rest of the infield. And still, actually, we have a new catcher out here. So
and a new shortstop.
And a new shortstop. So that'll be me reading the stat sheet for the last time because it's not correct.
It looks like it is Champness at short.
At short, yeah.
Woodland behind the plate.
And, yeah, Reed Woodland behind the dish, catching the 7th. And that might be more of that strategic move to give your catcher a little bit of break if Matias is catching game 2.
Oh, and a new center fielder. Woodward. Caleb's out of the game.
All right. So if you'll go back and just erase what I said earlier, pretend that didn't happen. There are different players out there for Trinity in some capacities. I think there's somebody else out in right field. That does not look like 2. Swing and a miss.
Looks to be Pierce Matthews. And
the throw is high. And so getting aboard is going to be Jackson Wall.
For all our viewers at home,
and there's the text message I was looking for.
Singhania has moved to center field. Matthews has gone out to right.
10 is in, so there's Matthews. That's all I got. The text messages are coming in a little bit too cryptic at this point. It's just and 10, but it didn't say where 10 was going. We did figure that out. It's not a big deal. Having to pull out binoculars over here to take a look down at the outfield. So Wall on first. He went down swinging, but the ball was dropped, and the throw was high. Now an 0-2 count. And now we're going to have two aboard as the 0-2 pitch comes in and hits our batter. And our internet is going absurdly slow. That was Drew Kelly. Don't have a physical paper roster in front of me, so I'm just relying on what we've got up here stats-wise. This page is reloading ever so slowly. Now 53. And 53 not on this roster, so that helps me 0. So this was Sam Thomas' spot, but Thomas was also a lefty, so it's not just a uniform change for some reason. I'll see if it's on their website. Check swing. Did he go? No. Yeah, I'll buy that. He held back. There's no 50. That's why he's not on the roster for the game. There's no 53 on their site. That one he did go. So a spare jersey being used here today by the majors. Hopefully their fans recognize. They apologize.
Maybe we could.
I will say it is a lineup that has enough depth to rival Tim Scannell's lineup. 50 guys on the roster.
Well, there's some Millsaps fans down there. Maybe we could yell at them and say, hey, who's in the game?
Yeah. Who's on first? The bases are loaded. So we got what's on second. I don't know who's on third. And now, so that might have been Jace Vasquez, number 19. So we're catching up. So I'm going to say on first base, wearing 53 is number 19, Vasquez. And this is Wesley Grant, pardon me. 377 on the season, so Broussard's got to be a little concerned here. And I'm going to be honest, selfishly, I'm a little concerned here. Tigers have 4 runs that they can play with here and keep this to a run roll. Otherwise, we play on. And I've watched enough Division III games, selfishly as a Tigers fan. So apologies to Millsaps for this one. But you let a team get back into the game in the 7th inning, even down 14, now down 13, as Grant will take a walk in and get an RBI. Nobody out here in the inning. You let a team back in and keep it alive, and all of a sudden you give up 5 or 6 in this inning, makes it an 8-run game, you give up 4 or 5 in the next. They somehow come up and start pitching and get you out, and all of a sudden the game's back on. And that is the epitome of Division III baseball. So when you've got a chance to, it's like we've mentioned hockey already. When you've got a chance to get the empty net goal, you get the empty net goal. You put the game out of reach.
Right.
And that's what Trinity's trying to do here. They're trying to get the empty net goal. Is this Caden Wells?
Looks like it will be Caden Wells.
Caden Wells coming in for Jack Broussard. So that is what Trinity's trying to accomplish here. Clinch it, be done with it, because as we've also seen, you don't get the empty net goal. You miss the shot. Opposing team gets it, skate back down the other side of the ice, and then they get the goal, and all of a sudden we're tied again. So it'll be bases loaded, Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Game 1. We'll be back. And while we're on pitching change, we'll jump in over to the Trinity softball field where Tigers have taken the doubleheader from the St. Olaf Olis, winning that one by a score of 4-3. But you see the big 3 in the 7th inning. Tigers holding on to that victory, keeping it alive, not needing the bottom half of the 7th. Big run in the 6th for insurance, getting the job done. The Tigers looking good over there on the softball side. Back to live baseball now. Caden Wells, breaking ball in at 63. We're watching him warm up and saw a lot of breaking balls in the warm-up. And the fastball, trying to see what it was hitting, but it looked like it was maybe 78, 80, somewhere in that range. So we'll see. 81 on that pitch there. Gets called strike, so that's a good sign for Caden Wells. So he's freshly coming to the game. They have a football score now, 23-10. That one shot back up the middle. And Wes Carr says, so much for your football score. It's now 23-11. Just a rocket of a shot. Decent location. Got the outside corner pretty low. Carr was able to get the good part of the bat on it. This should be lane cross, and it is. Center fielder skies this one. And Sawyer Haynes, first out of the inning. And a crucial out. Kyle Ville Jr. making a case to challenge Nick Jones, Mr. SAA. 3 for 3 today.
He has been a frightening sight coming up to bat today.
He's hitting the ball hard. He's got speed to leg out something in the infield. My guess is you could probably get him retired, quote unquote, with the fielder's choice. You got to give him a pitch to hit. 2-0 now. Doesn't like that baseball, he'll get a new one. 2 new.
And you have an interesting position here for Trinity because you don't want this game to drag on too long and give them a chance to potentially come back and try to steal it. So you're hoping that Wells can put together a solid outing here and maybe close out the game. But he does come into a pretty precarious situation to get out of.
Trinity usually has reserved the bases loaded, get me out of this jam for Will Hellings. And Wells having to come in and do something Hellings-like. This one is roped to right field. Matthews makes the play, but a run will come across. And runners on the corner now. And it's gotten interesting. A decent job by Trinity there to keep the runner from going to second. I think that's the saving grace on the flyout. This runner's on first and third, as opposed to second and third. because a base hit would have sent us to the bottom half of the 7th.
And, the wind has not stopped blowing. So really impressive job by Matthews to get over there and get the out.
Got a new hitter up, number 41, Bo Garofalo. Can he keep this game going for the majors? I think we're actually going to change the pronunciation to Garofalo. Cole had done all the research for this game. We found out that we were switching spots about 3 hours before first pitch. So, 23-12.
Wells needs one more strike to end this thing.
That is blooped over. Sawyer Haynes needs to make this play, and he does, and that will do it for game 1. Trinity victorious in their first ever SAA conference game. They take down the defending regular season champions, Millsaps. 23 hits, 23 runs on 24 hits, 4 errors, 9 left on for Trinity. 12 runs, 13 hits, 5 errors, 10 left on for Millsaps. And I'm sure we can talk a little bit more about this game when we come back for Game 2, which will be roughly in about 30 minutes. You can find the new link on YouTube, and we will be back in just a bit.